I'm gonna go ahead and start filming because I have to walk in my front yard and there's traffic, so people are gonna be like, what the fuck is that lady doing? But I have all these pretty white flowers that I wanted to get a shot in front of. So let's see if I can get my tripod where it needs to be. Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's number 2 of our Sewing Through the Zodiac series, and it is Pisces, which if you didn't know was a fish. So yes, Pisces. I was pretty excited about doing this one because this was one of the projects that when I started thinking of this series, this was probably the first one I had a draft for. Here, I'll show you my little sketch that I had. So yes, I was very excited to do this one. I knew that I wanted to base this kind of off of a koi fish, but I didn't necessarily know how I would put everything together. My initial concept was a very flowy dress with a very tight bodice, but then I decided I would rather have a bodycon dress with a flounce and very flowy sleeves, as you can see, and then a corset that went over. I'm going to show you the patterns I used because there's 3. Because yes, reasons. Okay, number 1, I'm sorry, there's 4 and I'm missing one. However, I know it's referenced in the footage and it's for the bodice of my underdress, which you can see that is a McCalls pattern I've actually made a couple of times. It's a basic princess seam. It's very comfortable. I don't know why it's not in my bag here. Whatever. Point being, to make the skirt of the underdress, I used McCalls 6770 with the flounce. I only used the sleeves from this Simplicity pattern, Simplicity 2777. This nice wide bat wing. And then a pattern I do not talk about anywhere in my footage, and I apologize because this is a wonderful pattern and it took very little finagling to make fit. And she's a YouTuber. It is Angela Clayton's pattern for this long line corset. I think this is more of a Edwardian style corset, and she does have a lace insert at the top of hers, which I skipped. But yes, this is McCalls 7915. I love this. I can't give enough praise for this corset pattern. Corsets are really, really finicky because, and this is one of those things that I made multiple mock-ups of before I made my corset with my nice material, because corsets have to fit correctly. They have to be pretty much molded to whoever's going to wear it, because it's what it's meant to do. It's supposed to like mold a person. So ultimately, I think my corset, the bottom wound up being a little wide, but I've also lost some weight since I started this project. I've lost some weight since I started this project. This son does not know what it wants to do. Because, just so you know, this video is not like my last one. It's not necessarily a tutorial. It's more of a sewing vlog kind of style of what I was doing while making everything. There's no footage, okay. There's no footage of the actual sewing. It's more of the thought process and the steps I had to take to go through everything. Let's get straight into the footage, and then I'll talk a little bit about my final thoughts, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Go. Okay, here we are getting started with the first part of the Pisces project. I'm starting with the underdress, and this is the bodice, which is just a regular old princess seam. I am using this pattern, McCalls M67654. I'll put a link in the description box, but this is also the basis of the bodice I made for my Lolita style golden afternoon dress. I will put a link to that video also in the description box. I'm going to sew this up and make a lining from a cotton, which I will interface, and then I will start on the skirt. Okay, I've got the outside of the bodice put together, and I kind of jumped over to the skirt. I am using, where's my pattern? This McCalls 6770. I'm just using this skirt portion where it's fitted at the top with a long flounce, and this is the main skirt portion. This particular pattern, I cut it out at a size 10, but it's a little small for me, so I added 2 inches at the center front and the center back, just so it fits a little bit better. I'm going to go sew these darts in on both sides, and then I will sew the side seams together, and we'll see where we are. Okay, so here is the basic outside pieces. None of these are yet sewed together, but you can see it's got almost like a, it's very fitted. And then the flounce is going to go around the bottom. And I am going to go to the kitchen and dye that right now. So yeah, I forgot that this skirt pattern has a waistband, and I cut this one at 4 inches, but then the skirt's at too low, so I went ahead and folded it in half. So when I sew everything together, I'm going to cut this to 2 inches, and then, well, more like 2.5, so I have a little bit of seam allowance. Sew it to the top, sew it to the bottom. I'm going to close this in the back with an invisible zipper. And yes, this is almost done. I just need to finish the flounce, and I need to put the sleeves on. Okay, so the flounce has been dyed. This was a little bit of a struggle. As you can see, it's kind of patchy in some places. And there's one spot right here where apparently the outside of my red dye bottle had dye on it. I got it on my fingers. It's, I mean, I don't know how to fix this. I don't think I can fix that other than recutting the whole thing and trying it again. As far as the patchiness goes, I don't really mind that much because it's supposed to be like a fin, so I didn't need it to be perfect. And I think kind of this like wavy gradient helps a little bit maybe. It's just this I'm going to be upset about. And there's some purple in there too from when I did my Aquarius project. So it's on the back side. Maybe I can cover it with like some fabric paint or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to bleach it out. I guess I should Google how to get extra dye out of things, but I don't think it's going to help. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here to dry. I'm going to go work on the sleeves, which I should have done when I did this because they also need to be dyed. So just, I'm riding the struggle bus tonight. Okay, so I have officially hit a bit of a roadblock because this canvas-like material was going to be the underlining for my corset, but I don't have enough of it. I thought I did, and I don't, so I have to wait till tomorrow to go to Joann's to get more. I was hoping to finish the underdress, but because I was too excited about dyeing things, my sleeves weren't ready. So while the flounce is drying in the bathroom, I can't put the sleeves on until I dye them, and I can't finish the bodice and put the lining in until I put the sleeves on. So I finished all my seams. I put the waistband onto the skirt, but I can't do much else. So instead, I'm going to jump to my headpiece and work on that for a little while, and hopefully I can get a good chunk of that finished for tonight, and then tomorrow I can finish this and start on the corset. Okay, so the idiot strikes again, because I went to Hobby Lobby Friday to get things, and I had air drying clay on my list, but I was like, no, I don't need air drying clay, and the only air drying clay they had came in this really big tub, and I didn't need that much, so I was like, oh wait, no, I have some oven baked clay at home from my Princess Mononoke mask that I did 2 years ago. Here's the thing, I can't bake this when I need to, because in order to do my headpiece, I have to make a frame, put the tulle on the frame, and then cover it with clay, which means I can't put it in my oven because this will burn and that will burn. So I'm again stuck and cannot work on my project anymore in any capacity because I have to wait till tomorrow for supplies. I am depressed. I am depression. Oh God. I guess I could draft up the pattern and that's about all I can do. Lovely.
Hello. Oh, that's terrible lighting. So it is Fat Tuesday. I have the day off from work because in Louisiana it is a holiday. I have a lot to do. I need to finish the sleeves, the bodice. I need to finish sewing the underdress together. I haven't even really started on the corset yet, which I think the only thing I've cut is the underlining, but I have to put it all together and put in the boning and the binding, and then I have a headpiece I have to do. So I have a lot of work to do. It's 11 o'clock. I've eaten breakfast, I've had a Diet Coke, read a little bit. I watched the new Game of Thrones trailer, and since I watched the new trailer, I think I'm going to switch up my project schedule, and as soon as I finish my Pisces project, I think I'm going to do my Daenerys cosplay. So I gotta get this finished so I can do that. And in the meantime, I will just kind of show you guys how things are progressing. So here we go.
Okay, we're back in my bathroom. The sleeves
have been cut out. I sewed the underarm seam and then I went ahead and ombre dyed them. My pot is still got little spots in it from when I did the Aquarius project, so there's like a green smudge on this sleeve. I mean, it's not super noticeable, but it annoys me. I've also got the top binding for the corset. I did it red, and then the bottom binding will be white. And the corset lacing, I tried to do an ombre, but this corset lacing didn't dye very well. It was very, very orange. It took to orange real well. And then the red, it kind of bleeds a little bit, but at least this way the tie-ins will be red and the rest of it will be orange, so it may look cool. Okay, on to the next part. Okay, so here's how the underdress is coming along. The sleeves are now dry from when I dyed them. The ombre's got some weird lines to it. You know, we do our best. We do our best. This was a bit of an experiment. So anyway, I went ahead and sewed the outer bodice to the waistband and the flounce to the skirt. The flounce looks really cool. It does still have that god-awful red spot on that side, which I'm not going to show you because it looks terrible. So now I'm going to make channels for the elastic that will go over the shoulder. So if I want to wear the sleeves up on my shoulder, I can. If I want to wear them like on the side, I can. I also need to hem the sleeves and the flounce, and then to finish the seam on the inside for this part of the dress, I'm going to make a bodice lining out of the same fabric. I don't know if I'm gonna face it. I guess I should. Yeah, I should put some interfacing. It'll make it better. And then I need to put the zipper in the back and sew up the back seam, and then the underdress will be finished. And then I have to make a corset. Pray for me. Okay, it is much later. I have got the sleeves sewn in here. I still need to roll the hem here. I don't think I'm going to do a lining for the underdress. I think I'm just going to roll hem the top of it, and I still need to put the elastic in there. But other than that and the zipper, the underdress is finished. So I've went ahead and started on the bodice. I did my front pieces. I'm a little dyslexic because the hooks are supposed to be on this side, not that side, but I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue. The front pieces are done. I have got all of my other pieces put together with the underlining, and I'm going to baste them so they act like one piece, and then sew them all together and put in the boning, and hopefully I can get most of this done tonight, so tomorrow when I get home from work I can do more of the fiddly hand sewing thing. So here's hoping. Okay, please ignore my horrendously messy room, but the underdress is done! And it looks pretty good. I don't have any kind of like smoothing anything underneath this because I just finished it and put the zipper in the back. But yeah, I think this turned out pretty good. The elastic in the shoulder works so it can sit up there, or I can pull it down. So yeah, I'm very satisfied with how this turned out. I'm trying to get it from the back and it's not working. So now I have to finish the corset that goes over this, and the headpiece is almost done. It just needs to finish drying. But yes, look how cool. Oh, I'm very happy with how this turned out. Nice. Okay, I don't remember when's the last time I updated you guys on the corset, but all of the boning channels are in and all of the boning is in. Funny story, I am one of these weird people that will spend money on fabric. I will spend money and time hand sewing in eyelets, which is what I plan to do with this, because I hate metal eyelets because they rip out, and I want this to last a good while, and I'm going to put a lot of decoration on it. But I will buy and use this plastic polyester Regalian boning, which you can sew through instead of spiral steel. But I also haven't really found a place to buy spiral steel that's in my budget. So yes, it doesn't look just right yet on the bottom because the eyelets on the back are not in yet. I'm going to do those last because, like I just said, I am hand sewing those in. I will have 26 eyelets to sew in. And the corset doesn't close all the way. It's going to leave a gap, which I wanted. And I've actually been losing some weight recently, so that leaves it more space for me to wear it later. And yeah, other than that, I'm going to trim the rest of this up top and do a basting stitch across the top and the bottom to hold the boning inside. And then I'm going to bind the top and the bottom of the corset. I have some red fabric that I had dyed, and I'm going to do the top in red because it's going to have a gradient scale that goes from red to orange to gold across the top front of the bodice, and then the bottom will be white. And once this is bound, once the eyelets are sewn in, and once all the scales are put on, it'll be finished. Thank goodness. I just have a lot of hand sewing ahead of me. So wish me luck and pray that my fingers do not fall off. Oh gosh. Okay, many hours of hand sewing later, the corset is done. All of the eyelets were hand sewn in, and there's this cool ombre effect I did. I used 4 different colors of embroidery floss, and I used 3 strands per eyelet. Actually, sewing in these eyelets wasn't too hard. It was a lot easier than some previous projects that I had sewn eyelets in for, and I've got them on both sides. It is a total of 26 hand sewn eyelets. And then I have the bottom and the top bound, and they are bound on the inside, if I can flip it around, with tiny whip stitches. You can see better on the red because I used a matching thread for the outside, not necessarily for the red part. And now all I have left is to put in the lacing and add my scales, of which I have 250. I have 100 red, 100 orange, and then 50 of the gold just for some accents. And then this costume will be finished as soon as all the scales are put onto the corset, which they have to be hand sewn on. But yes, the end is nigh. It looks good. I'm very excited.